Pleasant good evening, everyone. This is Dre, aka the Carnival Ref, with another episode of the Carnival Ref Live here in beautiful London. And it is Saturday, September 5th. I've lost track of the days. Labor Day weekend, if you're in the States. So happy Labor Day weekend. And to everybody in New York, it looks as if from my socials and my inbox that New York is Rona free. People in New York are running wild, having juves. I'm seeing all kind of fet, and I don't know. Like, am I in a part of the world where I shouldn't be? I mean, I know Barbados and St. Lucians and the other islands are at level 1, and they're still practicing safety. But I don't know if they're going as wild as New York right now. So if you're in New York, shout out to you. You're having the best time. You're living your life. Just keep, be safe. Be safe out there. Today, coming from apparently 2 twin islands, according to Barrie Hype, Antigua and Barbuda, and Trinidad and Tobago. I would like to introduce a good friend who I've known for quite a while, and soca artist. I don't know if he writes, I don't know if he produces, and blah, blah, blah. We'll find out more. Goes by the name of Ricardo Drue, aka Vagabond, aka The Professional. And I'm going to run the reel, let you guys know a little bit more about Drue. I mean, it's just a little something to give you something before we bring him in, and then we'll start the thing.
They call me Bond, a vagabond.
Roman, yeah, it's true. I got you, but you my friend. Hold on, it's true.
It's Drue. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Good to be here, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. That's all we can say. Health, strength.
Facts. Once you have health, everything is good, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I see it's dark wherever you're at. You're in London?
I am in the UK.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty sunny where I'm at. I'm in Florida, so I am enjoying the sunshine right now.
And I was going to ask you that because I couldn't keep track. I know I saw signs that you were in what looked like the US, and then I thought you were in Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a bit of reverb. I don't know if me or you, Drue. It might be something.
Yeah, I have no reverb here. I'm on my phone, so I don't know.
Let me drop my volume a bit.
Check.
Yeah, that's better. Might be me. I might have gassed it too much. I might have gassed it too fast. There's going to be no technical difficulties in episode 3. So yeah, I didn't know if you were in Trinidad. I didn't know if you were in the US. I saw in your vlogs based on a true story that you were in Trini at some point and you flew back to your kids. So where were you since the lockdown? Were you in Florida and went to Trinidad and you got back?
No, so what happened was I was in Trinidad. We did a show in Toronto in about March 7th. And that was when it was really starting to peak everywhere. And we landed in Trinidad on March maybe 9th, and we had to self-quarantine. And right during the self-quarantine, the whole lockdown happened. So it was just like, oh man. So I actually ended up being in Trinidad for the long haul. And of course, I was with P and Lily. But my sons were up here, so I spent maybe March to about July 21st in Trinidad trying to get an exemption. And if I got the exemption on the 19th, the flight presented itself on the 21st. Like, I found out about the flight on the 20th for the 21st. So it was just like pack everything and go.
One day,
not even that. Like, because I found out the flight was available on the night of the 20th. So I had to call the airline on the morning of the 21st. So I called them about 9 o'clock, and they were like, yeah, the flight's available. You got to go to the airport now. So I legit.
What was the date again?
20th. So I left on the 21st, July.
Of July, yeah, because I traveled from Miami to London on July 4th, July 3rd to be precise.
Right.
And it was quite an experience. Dude, like, there was nobody in Miami International Airport. There was nobody in Heathrow, London when I landed. I mean, there were people that were on the flight, and I'm talking about a handful of people compared to our full airliners, but it was just so fascinating because it felt as if it was I don't know, the apocalypse or something took place, and you just came out and you said, "Where's everybody?" You know, that commercial would be it says, "Where's everybody?" Because it's holiday sales. It was the reverse. It was there,
Yeah,
everybody at home because nobody wanted to go anywhere. How was your experience?
crazy. I when I got to Barbados, well, fortunately for me, right, I took a test to leave Trinidad. So when I landed in Barbados, my process to get through, I had to overnight. It was pretty easy. Had I not taken that test, I'd have been in trouble. But when I got to
You were
Barbados,
in
I
trying to go to Barbados to get a COVID-free, COVID negative test.
correct. And if you don't have one, they make you take one there. So I got there and people in hazmat suits and you know the people in immigration, they don't want to talk to you, like they want you to hold the passport as far away from them as possible. And I
Yeah.
mean, I understand, I totally understand. You definitely don't want to get this, but it was crazy. And then from Barbados to Antigua, it was even worse. It was like Fort Knox in Antigua. Like you have to present your information and they have to decide if your information is okay enough. If you look a certain way, they're putting you in quarantine anyway, regardless of what. So it was pretty crazy.
That was in Antigua.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're
And
from
then I guess,
Antigua.
and Miami's just like, go ahead. no test, no nothing. Yeah, you just have a good time. Go.
You know, that was the most shocking thing to me. When I left Trinidad, which was a week before the lockdown in March, I went to Florida, and I'm thinking, man, when you land in these states, they're gonna put you through the you know the temperature test, and then they're probably gonna put you in the next room and an X-ray and all. They were just like,
Yep.
welcome.
Yep. Have a good time.
Yeah. And then you want to wonder, people saying like, why is it such a show, crap show in the States? You know, why Florida have all these cases and it's shocking. That's a whole different conversation. So we leave that alone. That's a whole different conversation. I want you to quickly give us, I guess, a summarized recap of Ricardo Drue. I guess your bio, you know, which I read earlier today again, in a as quick as you can, like a summarized version. Ricardo Drue, where you start and where you reach. If you could summarize that as quick as you can, I'm talking about like in 2 minutes.
I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Right. So Ricardo Drue, I started off in a group, a boy band, if you want to call it, crossover. We spent about 6 years doing that. That'd have been from like the 2002 to 2006, 7. Went to America's Got Talent, got booed, and decided I wanted to start my solo career. Started my solo career. My first single was actually done by Dwaingerous called Pelted Back. Actually, my first 2 singles, Pelted Back, and then, of course, Nah Leaving featuring Patrice. It was done by Dwaingerous. After that, I decided to, just keep pushing as a solo artist because it was difficult. Joined Image and Company. Spent about 3 or 4 years with Image and Company. And then from there, joined the All Stars, where I spent the next 5 years. Within that 5 years, I would have gotten my first international hit, which would have been Vagabond, produced by Mr. Roots. And then my second major hit, which would have been Professional, which was produced by Dwaingerous. And ever since then,
the All-Star era was what year to what year precisely?
All-Star era would have been 2011 to 2000 and I'd say around 16, 17. Actually, I'm lying to you. No, 17, 18.
Okay.
So, and then after that, I am now running my own show. I have my own stuff in Antigua, my own band in Antigua. We do our own show, Drew's Day, ID Land, and I'm just a son of the soil, man, just representing the Caribbean, but of course represented Antigua, where I was born, and Trinidad, who has been giving me so much love. Right.
And I think I was confused, I must say, initially when I started seeing the Antigua movement, because I just thought you were straight Trinbagioan. And when I read your bio, the thing it was you were born in Antigua.
Correct. But I was born in Antigua, and shortly after, maybe about 3 or 4 months after I was born, I would move to Trinidad, and I lived in Trinidad, went to primary school, secondary school, and then moved to Florida.
So born in Antigua. So if you had to say where you were really raised, you'll say Trinidad.
Correct.
Okay. At what point in time did you decide in your career that, you know what, I'm gonna reclaim my Antiguan roots. I'm gonna go on and do what I have to do in Antigua.
All right, so it's funny, right? There's a guy by the name of Craig Christopher. He wrote Walk and Wine or Whistle and Wine for Marshall. And a couple of the songs he would have done for Marshall, and he worked with Dwain as well, actually. So I was in Trinidad around 2010. I was fighting the fight, and of course, everybody knows that battle, that pay your dues battle in Trinidad. And I was sitting down with Craig Christopher, and Craig was like, "Yo, listen to me. You're born in Antigua. Why don't you, the same thing you're doing here, go to Antigua and do it? We need more artists. We need more people to do these kind of things." And I was like, "You sure?" He is like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, what do you have to lose?" And I was like, "Well, I don't really have anything to lose." So if he told me that in February, that June, I jumped on a plane and I went to Antigua. And I wouldn't lie to you, it was an uphill battle because just like you, all the people in Antigua would have thought I was Trinidadian. So they were like, "Yo, where's this Trinidadian coming from trying to infiltrate our market?" I had to pay my dues there. But, you know, after about 3 or 4 years of knocking, now, mind you, when I got to Antigua, one thing I will say is that Antigua treated my music as fairly as possible. So from the first day I got there, the music was in rotation. I was in the Soca Monarch finals every year until I started to win the competition. So
right. So even though they were thinking like, "Whoa," they're still fair to you.
correct.
So you'll say that breaking into, like, if an artist was trying to break into the Antiguan market, is it easier than breaking into the Trini market?
No, it's not, because of course Antigua's smaller.
Right.
And, you know, so for example, if they don't like you, you're going to know, and they're going to do it in such a manner that it is going to affect how you perform on stage. You will legitimately have to find a way to get past that, and that's what happened with me. Initially, when I got there, I was so distraught, I was so thrown off, because they will legit fold their arms on you and look at you like, "Yo, what are you doing? What you doing here? Like, this don't make no sense, you know, come off the stage." But in Trinidad now, you find Trinidadians give you a little more, "Okay, let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. Show me."
Right.
And if you miss, they probably give you another chance. And Antiguans, if you miss the first time, that's it, brick. Yeah, it's a tough crowd.
Wow. Man, like, I don't ever think that. I'll always think that these small islands will give you more of a, like, leadway because of their passion for the music. And I always thought Trinidad was the toughest, but then you talk to DJ Puffy and he will say, "Barbados, toughest crowd to play for." You know, saying, "Hey, Antigua is even a tougher crowd than Trinidad." So
Yeah,
I guess really easy going.
my top 3 islands would be Antigua, Grenada, and St. Vincent. Those 3 islands there, for me, I find are like the 3 most difficult islands. I never had much difficulty in Barbados. I love Barbados.
Antigua, Grenada, and St. Vincent.
Not in any specific order, but just those 3 for
Those
me.
3.
Yeah.
You can go in and you can run on thinking you're gonna kill and whap.
Failure. I remember one time I was performing in Grenada, bro, and Vagabond was at its heights, right? So I'm performing at this football field, and these guys, I mean, the people are all the way at the back of the football field. The stage is all the way in the front. So I come on with Vagabond. So the people start dancing, right? But they're not moving from where they're at. So I load the music. I say, "All right, cool. If you have this amount of money in your pocket, come to the stage." So everybody came to the stage because they have that money, right? And as soon as I say, "All right, party start now," and I go back into the music, everybody walked right back. So little things you got to learn, little arguments, little performance techniques.
Yeah. I think you're one of the artists that I could generally ask this question to, because I think you have the best answer. But how do you go from being unknown, right? When I'm talking about, but let's say this is the soca community we're talking about. So you're unknown, you're trying to break through, you have your band crossover. I remember seeing you in parties in Pier 1 and whatnot back in the Carnival days with the crew. You on the whole the guys. So you go from that, you push, you finally push through the door, then you get a hit, and you have Vagabond, right? And you reach the top of the world, and you think you're the top of the world, and then all of a sudden, as you saw in some of your videos, you got so confident, you got so cocky that you started to make some bad moves. And then you come all the way back down to the bottom, and then have to work your way back to the top.
Right.
Walk us through that process. And I mean, and more importantly, what advice do you give to anybody who's in the industry, who's a next artist that they think they made it, and you need to give them some humble pie, or they need to understand like, what is the best way for them to get that humble pie without ever having to go through what you went through?
To be honest with you, man, I sometimes I just say experience is the best teacher. Sometimes you have to go through that experience to understand that where you were at is not the direction you want to go. And that definitely was something that I went through a couple of times. But the advice is always keep your ears to the ground. Always keep your ears to the ground, and always keep your ears as fresh as possible. Not everybody that's gonna come into your space is going to tell you what you need to hear. They might tell you what you want to hear. There are a lot of times we got so caught up in the moving forward element that we lost the connection of the ground. We lost the connection of what the people were saying, because we feel so confident in what we have. And a lot of the times we need to pay attention to the ground. We need to pay attention to what's being said. We need to make sure that we are treating those who are giving us that energy, that love, with the same amount of love. Because if we don't, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna, as fast as you went up, come right back down.
Yeah, boy. So definitely, even though you still keep your ear to the ground, but you still believe that each person's gonna have to go through their own journey. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Because I'll be different than yours.
Right. Because you might. I mean, and the reason why I asked that question is, say for instance, where you at a point in your career where you were riding high, but you were still with All Stars, the All Stars, and you decided, you know what, I wanna take this thing solo. I'm gonna walk away from the All Stars, and then you have to go back, put your tail between your legs, and ask the All Stars to come back in.
Right.
I would like to see, that the next artist probably won't make that same mistake. If they know they're in a good spot before they leave, they know, you know what, let me make sure 100% this is the right move, than to walk away from something that's good, that's winning, then start losing, to then go back to try to win again. And I wish I could give somebody the best advice, but again, in that moment, you just never know what a person is thinking, what a person is being told, the energy that, sometimes your vision and the clarity of your vision could be so far ahead that you're actually beyond your time. So it's crazy. I'm gonna, let's go. We have a next guest on the squad, so I want to bring him in as we're talking about what we're talking about. I don't have a big introduction, no introduction video or anything, but I think his resume speaks for itself, and you can probably introduce me. Bring him in. Like, let us know about this next guest, because you know more about him as what he has done for you in the industry than I would.
Right. All right, people. So, of course, this next gentleman we're about to bring on here his accolades are high, man. He has produced hit after hit after hit. Hits for myself, for Patrice Roberts, for Marshall Montano, for any artist that you really know and love. This is going to be a man that's probably done something for them. A man that plays the keys better than most. Producer, writer, extraordinaire. All the way from Barbados. Mr. Dwaingerous Antrobus.
Really the best here. Really the shit.
I really trying to stay away from talking to anybody in Barbados right now, because I had a call with Just the Puffy, I think 2 weekends ago, and Hyper Sounds, and you guys are living the life in there, man.
Facts.
Well, we'd be fortunate.
You guys kind of pretty much normal, huh? Having parties, going to the beach.
Well, I haven't been to the beach. I've been still social distancing, and you know what I mean? You can never be too sure these days. But Barbados, I mean, pretty lucky so far with all our cases being imported. So we pretty much catch them at the ports. But otherwise than that, it's pretty hot.
Mad. I want you, Dwain, to walk us through the I guess your relationship with Ricardo and the where it started. Actually, I didn't even realize that he said his first song. You were part of it.
Yeah. It was Pelt It Back. Spelt It Back, right? Yeah, Pelt It Back. Yeah.
Back. What year was that? You remember the years of every song you worked with artists?
That's years, boy. We talking about probably like the 2007 or something like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, boy.
If I sort of ask if I sort of call this song that you involved in the catalog and ask you for the year, you probably won't know the exact year, won't you? Too many.
No. I after your first 2-3 years, you don't already study them things. Well, at least me.
Yeah.
Probably other guys do, but there's been so much songs. But I remember when Ricardo Drue came with Patrice. Patrice was telling me that he got some talent with this group crossover, and I even was there with Lil Rick at the time when I was like, yo, they got this new cat on the scene and stuff, because I took him together. We did a song by Lil Rick too.
Right.
I don't think we ever released it. I don't think. But yeah, and he came and he was bringing like this kind of R&B. It was a fresh style that I wasn't hearing. Like you hear it at the time he was hearing like all these sweet singers and stuff or whatever. But he was bringing like the youthfulness at the time that it was like if they had a Chris Brown that was about to bust in soca, that was it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and he brought this out, Pelt It Back, and he said, man, I want one of them Dwaingerous rhythms. I was like, what do you mean by Dwaingerous rhythms? But I can't, oh man. You gotta give me back that track, boy.
So wait, Little Rick is a track with Ricardo Drue and Little Rick that never came out.
I think he wrote one for Ricardo Drue. He wrote one for you, right? Yeah.
Rick wrote a song for Drue and Drue never released.
And this is like the first time he met him too, you know. So that will tell you how much vibes was in the studio that day.
Wow.
The rum came out, the brandy came out, and it was a wrap.
Wow. Ricardo, that's a project you have to pick back up, huh? And finish.
Yeah, man. We go way back. Me and Drew go way back. Day one.
Wow. A major part of this, Dwain, I saw, Ricardo's story about the professional, and I saw a comical side of you that I didn't even know existed.
Oh, yeah,
part of that was you doing the Ricardo Drue impersonation when he made that phone call. So I know a lot of these people that will watch this probably didn't see that, maybe not. So you are here to basically let me know how that phone call went. When he called you, you wanted to know, hey, Dwain, I need something. I need something for what you have for me.
But me and Drew talk all the time on the phone and stuff. Man, I'd be frightening him about how he started. I
think our viewers need to taste. We need to hear this.
So I just use the interview as a prop there, be sure that side of Drew. But it's all fun and games, man. We good.
And even the when you were doing I was smoking some hookah.
Man, that time in Camels is crazy because I had just got the Camels and I was really looking for some hookah, he had just called me and tell me that he was smoking some hookah and stuff, and I was like, well, yo, these men, they're balling. They're talking about work.
Wow.
And they're having a good time.
Yeah, a question I want to know is, if somebody calls you and say, Dwain, I want to do interested, right? How could you know? Because our artists tell me that they don't know when they release a song whether it's going to be a banger or not. And I personally believe if I was an artist and I wrote something or have something that I want to give to the people, I will have a pretty solid indication whether it's going to do good or not. But that's me, because probably I'm not an artist and I'm listening on the listening side. When someone comes to you and say they want to hit, how much pressure is that on you as a producer? And do you know when you're going to deliver a hit versus, you know what, I did this one and it mightn't be a banger?
You don't even know, boy. Because after a while, when you first start doing your productions and stuff, that's your intentions. You want that hit tune. But there's no way you can really tell. Sometimes I myself is like, yeah, boy, this rhythm can do damage. This is it. And they put it out with a lot of zest.
Yeah.
And no traction. And that one rhythm that I probably take 5 minutes to build. And probably 10 minutes to record vocals and stuff on and just put it out. Bam! Blow up big. And 9 out of 10 that's how it's happened.
That's
crazy. It's almost like you think that you know what people want, but you really don't know. People is switch on you real fast, and because soca very follow pattern right.
I mean, but let's talk about that on a level of just music. You know, I saw a year, and I don't like to call names, but then I call names, right? But 2 artists came out one year out of New York, and they came to Trinidad, and they both had a really successful year. Big tunes, each of them had a big tune, right? One of the artists told me, Dre, I sat back and I studied the thing. I studied everything from what to bring out, make sure I have a dance to go with it, how to deliver it, to dress up a certain way so I have a gimmick. And that's why I bust, right? After that year, I think he probably had a next okay tune. He never came back consistently. The other artists who had a good song continually grew and grew and grew and grew and grew.
Right.
And I told that other artist 3 years later, I said, dude, how come you still doing the thing and the other guy kind of fell off? And he said pretty much one thing. If you make music that is good, that you believe in, that you're singing with a passion coming from here, and it is good, and you're not trying to write for having a successful song or a banger, you will have longevity and you'll do well. And this artist to date has been doing well every year consistently, and I honestly believe that that might have to be the answer.
But actually, well, you gotta know the difference between, because what's happened to a lot of artists, and it is sad that their song is get bigger than they being an artist themselves. So the artistry of them doing, okay, they got the gimmick songs, and you got the artists that do the gimmicks. They're only good for like a 1 year, and people don't really like them as the artists. It's just like what they're doing. They're just like the song. So they're like, the song is bigger than them. So they're like, it doesn't even matter who sing that song. It could be somebody off the streets, like a gully boy, whoever just can sing that song for you, and it will still have the same effect. But then you have artists who more about, I want to please people, but I also want to express myself. I want to show them what I'm thinking. I want to show them. I want to take them on a journey. So for them, it's about making music and taking people on a journey, a musical journey. From first song, from not even, they don't have to have all club bangers. They might just have that radio song or that song that just have that touching you personally. So versus then, the one hit wonders. And so that's where you get a lot of the confusion, where people think that once you do all this pop gimmicks, and let's call them pop gimmicks, which is like you dancing and you looking good and this and whatever, that's it. But if you want to be in the game for long, you got to be an artist.
You got to be an artist.
Yeah.
You're right. You have to have a craft. You have to know what your craft is, know your lane, and stick with it, But speaking about bussing tracks too, a major part of bussing tracks happen to be the DJs.
Of course.
You can have literally the worst song in the world, and if all the DJs get behind it and start to push it, it can become numero uno. So
that's not
I give a call.
That goes with any product, really. Once you have people backing a product and they put the money behind it or the thing behind it, it's going to blow up. So and that said, I want to bring in another guest. Goes by the name of Barrie Hype, and he doesn't say when he doesn't say hi. He says hello.
Barrie, turn your screen this way from her.
I gotta do it. What do you call it? Horizontal.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, man, Barrie, welcome to the call.
Gentlemen, everybody watching. Hello, how y'all doing?
Good afternoon.
And it's sad, Drew, because unfortunately you're the one that created the reverb, So I see you having to keep it at mute, but you need to actively participate in the conversation. But Ricardo, I brought Barrie on to talk about Vagabond.
Mm-hmm.
And when Crown Prince did the refix,
Right.
You weren't a fan, but the DJs knew what was going on. Apparently, DJs got behind it, and let's talk about that story and the power of the DJs. Plus, Barry also have the next story. I think it was when you came out and you went to Antigua or one of the places, and you recorded it
Yeah,
and put it out there.
yeah. Vagabond, man. I like the original a lot. Right, Prince came in and he did his edit, and when they played it on the road, I was like, man, what is this clap thing? Let's go back to the original. And then I get a phone call from Barry. He's like, yo, that Prince edit.
That Prince edit, man.
Back to basics call. He's like, yo, Prince took it over the top. I'm like, nah, not even study that, man. And then I just one day, like Miami Carnival, every truck I hear in the clap. I'm not hearing the original anymore. Trinidad Carnival, I'm not hearing the original anymore. But what really took the song over the top for me was I was performing at a party in Antigua called Breakfast Fest. And we were going to, Barry was there with Rupi. And the promoter was like, hey, Rupi's got to travel. So Rupi's going to go on first. And I got to go on after. I'm like, me after Rupi? How am I going to do that? Rupi go down there. And when I say, guys, Rupi shake down the place, right? He shake it down. And I'm like, hey, how am I do this? And when I went on stage, the crowd lifted so high. I was like, man, but in the back there, Barry was recording, and I didn't know he was recording. He posted that video like maybe the day after, and that video just went viral. And that was the end of that.
Crazy.
God bless
Barry,
Everybody was clapping. Everybody was clapping remixes after that, right? Everybody, right?
Because professional got a Crown Prince edit too.
Barry, I want you to tell, I guess, the viewers why was that version? What do you guys see in that version that was different and that put it over the top and did it what it did?
It goes straight to the punch. It gets straight to the point. Whole day we drinking and we don't need no chaser. Got straight to the point. The way that we get straight to the point. So and then after that, dun, 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 Vagabond. So we get straight to the punch. We get straight to the point. So there are times that some songs you need that nice build. A good example of that would be Ducking. Dung, dung, dung. You want that whole build. But there are times you just want that straight punch immediately, and it was just the right song to do those edits to. Not all edits work. So anybody who's a remixer who wants to get into this, always remember, if your road mix or remix is not better than the original, put it in the trash.
For real.
It's so subtle.
Simple.
Wow.
That's why it's called a remix or road mix, is because it enhances the song more. The song, this remix, this project is now better than the original, quote unquote. Some songs you've heard attempts at remixes, and you're like, yo, let me just stick to the original.
Right. What do you think is the true power of the DJ to help an artist? Or have you ever had that case where you as a DJ or a DJ community saw an artist that needed that extra push, that had something good that people didn't know about, and you guys took it and say, and I know a couple of cases of some songs I could call out a Grenada.
I think generically, Dre, there's a thing called a selector's choice.
Right.
So a very good friend of Dwaingerous and Drew in the group is a DJ from Barbados called John Doe. This is very important for DJs to listen to this. I will contact John Doe because crop over is the end of July, early August. I will contact him usually around May, June. John Doe, I need your ear, sir, of expertise. What song is big in Barbados? What song is doing what? And then when I get there, usually I will, let's say Drew recorded a record and dropped it. And I liked it when I went there in May, June. But come the week of crop over, he has another song that was big. Yeah, but I like this one. I mean, big up to this one that's big, but we defending this one here. I'll give another example. There's an artist by the name of Trini Boy Juicy who had a song that was big in Trinidad this year, but it was big because every single DJ said, I like this tune. I
Yeah.
am defending this song. And all of a sudden, the record went through the roof. Like people asking, who is this? Who's this guy? Whatever. I have known him for more than 10 years. Again, just like Drue, consistent work, putting out records. Do the listeners and viewers know that Drue has a collab with Bungie Garland? And a video? Drue's putting that work. When I first met Drue, he wasn't an individual solo artist. Drue was part of a group.
Yeah, yeah,
He put in that work.
yeah. Ricardo,
He's put in a lot of work. He spent a lot of money on videos before he
remember when you asked me? You remember when you asked me about those artists that live that long life? Drue is that guy, that perfect example of that guy, which put in all the work. Boy could work.
that's true.
Sometimes it's this work thing that he doing all the time. Just stop it sometimes, but.
So, Ricardo, have you ever came into a position where you wanted to go the avenue of using DJs to help push it? Because I saw that you'll team up with you with bands. You teamed up at a season with Patrice, and you did certain things. But have you ever tried the DJ approach where you say DJs like? Because I mean, you know most of them, huh?
The closest thing I would have done in that realm would have been Barrie and Prince. I don't really move too far out of the circle. And I've never been the artist to say, okay, cool, I'm friends with all the DJs, you understand? Like, I've never been that artist. And I'll tell you why. I crossed paths with a DJ, won't call no names, in Trinidad when Vagabond happened. And it was the worst thing ever. The man, by the end of the season, the man was telling me, it's because of him. The song is the biggest song ever, and I need to give him this, and I need to give him that, and the same thing happened with Professional. And after that, I just said to myself, man, you know what? I'm just gonna put out good music. If they like it, they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it, and I'll just keep my circle tight. And that's why you will see like most of my edits might be a Crown Prince edit or a Justa edit. Most of my production would be a Roots or a Dwain. Like I don't go too far from where I need to.
Right. I never thought about it like that, but you're right. Because when people climb up the ladder and get to a point of success, everybody is always giving the line, I help you get you there. I'm the guy that helped you reach it.
Especially in Soca. Remember sending you a video, dog, I defended first. I was the one to defend your first, dog.
Yeah. As I wrote when the caption for when I posted this flyer about the show, one of my missions is to get based on a Drue story on this show that has never been told. That's not coming out. It probably didn't come out yet. It's going to come out, but it's episode 9 in season 3. It's live. We're gonna Drue story today that no one has heard before.
Facts.
Factual.
I remember the year when I went to Barbados and Dwaingerous said, yo, Barrie, pre this song, this is when he was doing Professional. And I took a listen. He said it's a rough mix. So I took a listen to this rough mix. I'm like, okay, this is nice. I like it. And the amazing thing was after it was mixed down properly and then mastered, the whole day we drinking, there's a drum and bass that comes in right there. The first time I listened to it, because it wasn't mixed and mastered properly, I was like, yeah, this nice, but it missing that bait and pepper sauce. Like I ain't getting the traditional Dwaingerous. Dwaingerous is known for his drums and his bass. That's one thing Dwain is known for. Brass fest rhythm, I can go down the list. Dwain, I'm like, come on, Dwain, with that pepper sauce. But this is the almighty Dwaingerous. I can't tell him, man, his thing is sounding good. He said, what do you think? I think it's a rough mix.
The worst is to ever play a demo for Barrie, you know. and demo stage or rap mix as you
Yeah,
want
don't
to
do
say.
it.
Barry can look
Don't
at the
do it.
screen and look at you like, yeah, it's something right, you know. You will see me in something right, you know. I'd be like, damn.
I will tell you from straight up. He's like, hey, is this a demo or is this a final track? He'll ask you straight up. It's a demo. He's like, all right, well, send me back when it's finished properly. I don't want to hear no demo.
There was a point when I'm in this industry for so long that when I was the guy that was actually listening to stuff and putting the IDs and posting music on the website. So I will just go through thousands of songs for every carnival. And I could literally tell you literally in the first 5 to 10 seconds, good, garbage, good, garbage, good, garbage, good, garbage. And I want to say I'm about 8 to 9 out of 10 times on point with my picks. So I will get a song from Drue and say, this one, yeah, this is going to be good. Or this will be okay, but it probably won't get as much play and it won't be in the top 5. I'm sure you guys probably know people like that. I think, Barry, you mentioned that guy in Barbados. How do we create this? We should have this listening group, probably for Carnival or soca music or our industry, where maybe I might be a part of it and a DJ, and where you will say, hey, I'm throwing this out. This is my demo. What needs to be done, or what do you think? And then we could just give our feedback. And do you guys probably have that already? And I'm just now saying about it, but you'll have your area, because maybe you have to step out and broaden that out.
What
they have
tends to
those
happen?
groups, but they don't talk to you. they make the comments behind your back, But they have a lot of those groups. So
they have a lot of those groups. So Ricardo, you put your music in a group and say, guys, we think about it before it come out.
Nope.
And they put that music in the group for you.
I could answer that.
I will
For you.
I'll ask Dwain, I'll ask Barry, I'll ask Prince. But again, I don't try to send my music too far out because we have a lot of sharks in the industry too that, you send out the song today and tomorrow you hear the same kind of song on the radio. So it's like,
Real.
We got some pirates out there.
They got a few of them.
Yeah, but I think that's important, because I've heard some songs where I actually gave some input and the artist actually rushed the brush and they didn't want to listen in, and then they put it out and it just went flat. And I'm telling them, if you had done exactly what I said and you had emphasized this and done that, it could have been a hit. But you just want to rush it.
As I said, people decide what the hits are, boy. You don't. Yeah. Whatever. It all, because like you could push something on the radio hard. I've known artists that have the kind of pull and money to get their stuff pushed, and they'll be in rotation like every 2-3 minutes on radio station, 2-3 minutes on YouTube, everywhere on the social media, blah blah, and nothing.
Correct.
Nothing.
Fact.
You know what I mean? They're that one kid that no one knows. You know what I mean? Come from nowhere. It's everybody's favorite. Everybody want to be his friend.
And some years, and Dwaingerous and everybody can attest. Some years the energy of the crowd just goes this direction. You made an amazing record. It was written properly. It was released at the right time. Right imaging, right production, right press release. Everything was just literally perfect. And the energy of that year is going in this direction, and your song is going in this direction.
Yeah, boy. Because what you don't understand too is that people, especially when you have those years that when people are not excited for the music or the carnival or whatever, when you don't have the excitement behind the music or the excitement even going out to the fets and stuff, the music and stuff. So sometimes you might say, how come this song ain't get big, boy? And sometimes that same song is the next year come around is now starting to get big. People now starting to listen to it. People know, like a classic example, you see like Big Bad Soca. Yeah. Big Bad Soca was at Carnival, whole Carnival. And it was all right. You see, after Carnival finished, boy, that record went, bam.
I agree.
Yeah,
that was Lucy. Lucy was like that as well. Some records do get bigger post Carnival.
Yeah. So
Dwain, what do you think we have to do as a Caribbean to stop making music just for Carnival, but make music for the Caribbean that we can listen to year round? Where's the starting point?
I don't think you have to stop making music for Carnival, because I always tell people we are lucky to have platforms like Carnival that we could have something definitely to promote music too. And that's what
Right.
the other genres of music don't have. So that's what they have to release music all year round, to have their own little space and pocket. You know what I mean? But we got shows. I mean, like we and working with Marshall, I could tell you like a lot of those artists when they get to Trinidad and stuff and see how we be doing it, they'll be amazed. They'll be like, "This is what we need. We need these sort of crows to be out, but they don't get that kind of gas. They
Yeah.
don't see that sort of gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gotta get to the Grammys to see that sort of gas. You know what I mean? And then
Right.
it'd be like a fake crowd at the Grammys cheering for anything that come on that stage. You know what I mean? Excuse me,
Prime-
ice cream
prime-
van in the back.
I was like, yo, is
He's
that
on
ice
time.
cream?
Wow.
He's on time today.
But it's true because when Bungie did an interview with Angie Martinez, they were like, yeah, normally artists of your caliber in the mainstream space, you don't see crowds bigger than, you know, nightclubs, but you perform for crowds 20, 30, 40,000 in Trinidad. He said, yeah, that's a week. That's like, you know, that's a weekend, like 2 weekends or weekend before Carnival. And they're like, what?
Yeah,
Because we have to.
and things drying up, well, kind of falling off now, because as you know, soca right now in that kind of place right now where it's not getting younger, it's getting older. So as we get older and stuff, the crowds and everything can get smaller because it's not even transcended to the young people like that.
Right.
But back in the day when everything was younger, remember Carnival when you were doing like something like 40 shows of Carnival? Those 40 shows of Carnival.
Yeah.
A hip hop artist is probably don't even do like 20 shows a year.
True. But so
Not of that caliber
doing
either.
that 4-6 weeks.
Ricardo, do you prefer to have the pressure of a carnival season every year in rotation that you have to produce a new song or album for, or a body of work for, versus can I just release some music that will just be transcendent for the times?
Preference. I don't think it boils down to preference. I think it's just what I know. You know, like I came into this industry and from the time I came into the industry, that is what I knew. So the mindset was, okay, this is what has to be done to make it. However, I could tell you, like me personally, this next year, 2021, going into 22, I'm actually going to do it a little bit different. I'm actually going to do an album, put songs on this album that people have never heard before, that you know would not have been on a rhythm or whatever the case may be. And then for the next year and a half to 2 years, I'm gonna focus on that album and just pick songs off of it, and that's how I'm gonna do it. Because you know, now more than ever, we have had an opportunity to turn soca into what we call a non-seasonal genre, and you can see a lot of artists decided to show the world that it is something seasonal. You know, we have no carnivals, so I'm not putting out any music, not releasing anything. And for me, I think this was a perfect time to Dwain and I had a lot of conversations over this quarantine, you know, where this was a perfect time to do songs that you could listen to the house on Sunday, take a drive Sunday evening, you know, sit down with your boo on Netflix and chill and listen to, and just change the dynamic from just rum, jump up, fat to life in general. And I don't think a lot of us took that opportunity to make that shift. And we need to.
Right. And
Everybody waiting for the
right,
effects to come back.
That's
Waiting for that party to start back.
only asking and stuff now that it's not carnival related. We're actually talking about life and being at home and when we're going to see people again. And
yeah.
So it's naturally happening, which is a good thing.
It has to. And you know, I think this, even though this COVID thing wasn't a good experience for anybody, just due to people getting sick and people dying and stuff like this, I think that this was a good situation for artists to say, okay, cool, we need to get this done. We need to shift. We need to make the shift. As Dwain said, we still focus on doing the carnivals and make sure that that's a platform we don't lose. But we can now go in a different realm and make sure we produce music all year round. You don't need a carnival.
Right.
It's true.
Nice. What's the national dish in Antigua?
Well, there's a few, but I say there's cuckoo, what we call it. We call it fungi. There's fungi and saltfish. There's what? There's a bad stewed turkey that we do in Antigua that I'm like, you know what I mean? But for me,
So
like,
you have a bigger preference for Antiguan food now, or Trini food still? A pilau over cuckoo?
but boss, I'm not picky with food, man. Just give me something that tastes good, I'll eat. I'll eat. I don't care what it is. Like, once I'm addicted and it tastes good, I'll eat it. I just don't. You know, maybe I should rephrase this.
So you're saying that you'll eat anything?
No, sir. No, sir.
Crazy.
Oh, shoot.
So Ricardo, what I was leading to earlier, which I think went over your head, or I don't know if I was on mute or not, is I would like you to tell us a story, a Ricardo Drue story, a true Drue story, on this right like today that no one has ever heard before. Like, I would like to hear a story without having to wait for it on Instagram.
I could tell you a story, man. So, it is 2016. Bob and I are in not Barbados, London. Sorry, right? We're there for the Notting Hill Carnival, and we are. It was myself, Baba, and Ola. So we perform at this show, shake down the place, and go back to the hotel. We go on the road the next day, and shake down the road too, and then from the road back to the hotel. We have to fly out early the next morning. I think we have to leave the hotel at like 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So I say to myself, you know what, there's a time difference. Let me go and sleep early so that, you know, I could kind of just adjust my body to what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm laying in my bed. It's about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Fall asleep, and I wake up about 12:30. But I'm looking at, you know, the lights on the wall, like they're off, but I'm seeing water coming through the lights. So I'm like, what the hell is going on here, right? So I close my eyes, I open the water, I open it again, the water is running down fast. So I'm like, yo, my room's about to flood out if this continues. So I open my door, look down the hallway, and water's just coming through all the lights going down the hallway, right? So I call the front desk. I'm like, hey guys, there's water coming out my lights in my room and down the hall. He goes, yeah. Some idiot flooded out the bathroom upstairs. I said, all right, cool. He said, yeah, we're gonna get it sorted. Don't worry, sir. So I call Sham. I say, Sham, yo, my room, somebody's like flooding up upstairs and my room is leaking. He starts to die. He's like, So I'm like, what the hell is going on? He said, boy, Bubba upstairs and fell asleep and left the pipe running in the bathroom. so Bubba fall asleep, the tub overflows and it just flows straight through the hall, everything. And it flood out everything, right? So they get it sorted out. The next morning we get up and we go down to the front desk. Bubba goes, Drew, you think they're gonna give me back my deposit? I said, Bubba, you better just leave. Like you lucky they not make you pay for anything. You just leave. He said, well, man, I want my deposit, man. I was like, Bubba, let's go, bro. Yeah, I was gonna tell that story next week, but we were saving it for another time, so you can have that one. But yeah, Bubba fell completely asleep, man. You there? Hello?
Am I muted or am I good?
Back on.
I was on mute. Wait, that is crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's my dog, King Bubba.
Wow. We now last 5 minutes here, and I normally open it up to questions if anybody had any questions out there. So I want to first of all shout out to everybody that tunes into the show every week or whenever I jump on. So thanks for your support. Love you guys, even if it's 5 people or 100 people or whatever we're dealing with. It's much love and respect. Let's do the what you're working on, what you have coming up part. Part of this is also telling people what you've been doing and what we could expect. So Drew?
Well, for me, I've been doing a lot of work, a lot of writing, a lot of recording. I've been doing a lot of stuff with Dwain. And we're actually, as I said to you guys, I'm working on an album for 2021. I'm not sure if I'm gonna call it. You know what? I'll leave that one out. But the album is about 60% done.
Okay.
So between that, the Drue stories, we shot a couple videos as well. That we're gonna be doing a little bit different. That's gonna really be releasing in the next month or so.
Right.
Other than that, it's just, you know, this quarantine time actually put me in a position where I was able to record. Like I was able to record a lot.
Nice.
So like down about 20 to 25 demos. Six of them, five or six of them actually are Dwaingerous productions.
You got to
So
keep
you
your
know,
circles tight.
yeah, and that's about it, man. Right now, and we just find, as I said, finding different ways to channel the traffic outside of just performing. Like, because a lot of us in the soca industry right now, we put out a song and then like we promote it for like 2 months, and then we're like, okay, what next? We have to wait to perform, because that's usually
Yeah.
how we do it. So
Right.
now it's just figuring out different ways to make these things happen for it to skyrocket.
Yeah. Nice. I don't know if I missed this, but is there official music video professional?
You know,
I
no,
was looking for it.
yeah, I shot one and I was not happy with it. And no, in fact, I think I might have been too picky. You know, I think I might have been too picky. So
Is that a miss? That is second. I know. I think in your ranks you put as number 2, and no music video.
yeah, yeah, you know, and I think I know why Dwayne and Barry are laughing, because I can be a real picky person when I read it, like
No,
unnecessarily picky.
nothing wrong with that at all. Trust me. Dwayne, what you working on?
Your mic is muted, Dwain.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna meet you. Yeah,
You hear me now?
yeah.
Well, since everything gets shut down and locked down, and like what Drew was saying, it gave me a chance to work on some other stuff other than like outside soca. So they have a big dancehall movement in Barbados here going on. So I doing some dancehall, some trap, some crossover stuff. Some of the stuff that me and Drew working on is a little outside the box. You know, maybe trying some fresh things that he told you. And we also getting ready for when everything opens up too. We got some gas out there too.
Mad.
So yeah, so like as we said, I just try to make some more music that's not Carnival related. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the next step from there is to actually try to find the platforms to support it also.
Right. Yeah. So definitely link Trini Jungle Juice, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Full
100 support. Barrie Hype, what are you on?
I realize I'm the only non-member of the bearded gang. I see this. Work related. For those who know, I'm on Action A&R for Black Shadow BSMG. So we're working on some projects, some that I can and some that I cannot talk about. Also, before my father passed, for those who know, he passed away in November 2 years ago. He started me down the path of the diversification. So part of my reason for coming to South Florida, which I'm in right now, is actually to start laying the groundwork for some of that here. The groundwork has already been laid back home, because as of now, I am co-director of my father's company. So we're obviously making sure that stays where it needs to. But I'm also going to be doing some stuff here. But yeah, heavily working on some stuff for Rupee. I just got to get him into the studio. If you're listening, my friend.
Shout out to Rupee.
I will say this. A lot of the artists out there who are not recording, and a lot of the producers out there who are not putting stuff out, do not be surprised if a batch of new artists and new producers just come in and take your space, because these guys are all looking for that space to get in, and if you have vacated it, no problem. They're going to come in and take it. So I'm not throwing word for anybody. I'm just kind of putting it out there that, you know what I mean? Make sure.
And there's a ton of new artists right now. Right now,
Exactly. There you go. And by the way, yes, I do.
We all miss Carnival, man.
I real homesick, boy. I real homesick.
Yeah. No. Speaking of homesick, I have Ricardo. Is your song? I was doing an interview last week, and the song was under Sony's copyright management, and the whole live stream got basically shut down. It's homesick. Will it get me in problems because I wanted to end the show and bring up homesick when we signed off? Will I get copyrighted?
No, I'll make sure. I'll make a call.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's it. I appreciate you guys joining. Big up Ricardo every time. I appreciate you. I really appreciate more than anything the commitment to stay focused, the hard work, and never giving up. Even when other people said, "Man, I'm not getting on that plane. I'm not going to Barbados." You went to Barbados. You kept doing it. When you get down, you go back up, and yeah, keep doing it, bro. Barrie,
Thank you, bro.
I'll see you. We Carnival Fed and good talking to you for the first time. I'm
Exactly.
still using Ricardo Drue voice impersonation, Dwain.
Do you have any more beats? You have any more beats that you could give me? I would like some beats to record too.
Yo, Drew, I take my hat off to you literally and figuratively, my brother. Your story about you making it home to your boys, I can tell you a lot of friends of mine, majority female, but some male, definitely shed a tear for that. It actually gave them a lot greater appreciation for their family, for their friends, for their team, for the people who were around. It touched them. It really did touch a nerve. I was like, man, I'm not even a father, but bro, I felt that as well. So, my brother, salute to you.
Respect, Barry. Respect. Appreciate that, man.
Fellas, it was real. If you're feeling like me and you're homesick, this video is for you. Ricardo, you want to introduce it? You're on mute.
Yeah, people, check it out. Check it out. This is Homesick. Barrie, Dwain, I ain't really liking the voice, man. Lose the voice.
Much love and respect, guys. So big shout out to Ricardo Drue, Barrie Hype, and Dwaingerous for joining the Carnival Ref Live and teaching every one of you that was logged on, tuned in. Thank you for your love and support. So I'm just here to say, if you did not get your latest Trini Jungle Juice merch, Heritage is the newest collection. The first collection was Choose, Love, and Soca. Just check out our online store at store.trinijunglejuice.com. That's store.trinijunglejuice.com. Pick up your merch. And yeah, until next week. And maybe I will start doing something midweek of a different nature type show, different style format. But Carnival Ref Live every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. Just look out for it on Instagram for when it comes up, or Facebook. And I will see you guys. So much love, peace, love, and jungle juiceness.